Good evening. Welcome to the Alameda County Water District Board of Directors meeting of September 8th, 2022. Roll call, please.
Director Sethy.
Here.
Akbari.
Here.
Gunther.
Here.
Huang. Here. And Weed.
Here. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. To the republic, one nation, God. Yes, we have a hybrid meeting. I'll have the general manager make a few introductory comments.
Sure thing, President Weed. Welcome, everybody. My name is Ed Stevenson, and I serve as the district's general manager. Members of the public may participate in this board meeting in person or remotely by either using the Zoom application or by telephone. Any member of the public participating in person may approach the speaker's podium at the appropriate time. For those participating remotely, note the agenda, meeting agenda has the staff reports, presentation materials, and all of the materials that we'll be talking about this evening, and they're all posted at the district's website at acwd.org. You may reference the instructions at the top of the agenda for how to participate using the controls in the Zoom app or your dial pad if participating by telephone. This board meeting is being recorded and will be made available to the public for future viewing. I'll also note that our General Counsel, Pat Miyake, is participating remotely this evening, but is in attendance this evening. And so that is all that I have and completes my housekeeping remarks.
Thank you. At this time, we have public comments. If there's anyone who wishes to address the board and public comments, now is your opportunity for items that are not on this agenda. I do not see anyone from the public on our list nor in the audience. So let us move then to the consent calendar. Is there anyone who wishes to add items to the consent calendar?
I'll make the motion to add items 5.1 and 5.2 to the consent calendar.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Sethy.
Aye.
Akbari.
Aye.
Gunther.
Aye.
Huang. Aye. And Weed.
Aye. And we have a motion to approve the consent calendar as amended.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Sethy.
Aye.
Akbari.
Aye.
Gunther.
Aye.
Huang. Aye. And Weed.
Aye. Item 5.3 is an authorization of professional services agreement for the Water Savings Assistance Partnership Program. Turn this to the general manager.
Okay, and to get us started on this item, I'll turn it over to our Director of Water Resources, Ms. Laura Heides.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. We're excited to have here tonight to present this item, Ms. Giselle Delgadillo, one of our water use efficiency specialists, and she's got a lot of information to share, so I will just turn it over to her directly to provide an update to the board on this new program that we're reauthorizing.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Giselle. I'm a water use efficiency specialist. And as mentioned, I'll be providing a presentation regarding our Water Savings Assistance Partnership Program. So first, I'll just start off by providing a little bit of history and background of how this program got its start. So back in fiscal year 2013-2014, the district had selected Niagara Conservation as a direct install contractor through an RFP process. And this program was limited in terms of who was eligible to receive the services. So only ACWD ratepayers and homeowners were eligible. And in this program, the contractor installed toilets, shower heads, faucet aerators, tub diverters. They fixed leaks and made flange repairs, but the program did not include any energy measures. Fast forward to fiscal year 2019-2020, the district launched a pilot of what we now know as the Water Savings Assistance Partnership Program. And this program is a partnership with PG&E to offer our customers both energy and water conservation measures. And this program expanded who was eligible. So now renters were eligible to receive services through this program. Because of the success of the pilot, the district decided to launch a full program rollout in the fiscal year 2020-21. And last year for fiscal year 2021-22, we continued that full program and expanded the program by adding new leak repair measures as an additional drought measure to provide additional resources to our income qualified customers to help them conserve as the drought began and continues. And for this upcoming fiscal year, staff is requesting authorization to continue that full program and the leak repair measures that were added last year. And we're actually looking to add an additional leak repair measure as well. So the program is a partnership with PG&E to offer our income qualified customers free water and energy assessments and saving measures. And services are performed by Richard Heath and Associates, Inc., or RHA, through subcontractors. And to sign up, customers call the program contactors who help them determine whether they qualify for the program, whether they meet the income guidelines. And if they do, they'll go ahead and move forward with scheduling home assessments so that they can receive the services. So the water conservation measures that are supported by the district through this program include indoor and outdoor assessments of certain fixtures, including leak detection, toilet retrofits and repairs, including flanges and angle stops, water use efficiency education and information about the district's rebates and programs, as well as leak repair for bathroom and kitchen faucets, toilet flappers, sprinkler heads, outdoor hose bibs. And the new leak repair measure that we're looking to add is sprinkler irrigation valve replacements. And these measures are all offered in addition to the energy savings measures that are provided by the PG&E's Energy Savings Assistance Program, or ESA. And they're all provided free, no cost to the customer. Here are some metrics that we wanted to share about the program to date. So this includes the pilot, the full program rollout, and last year's program plus that included the leak repairs. So we've served 454 homes and installed 369 high efficiency toilets out of the 909 toilets that were assessed. So that's almost half of all the toilets that were assessed were replaced with a high efficiency toilet. We have a number of the leak repair measures. The most common one were the bathroom and kitchen faucet replacements, followed by the angle stop replacements and hose bib replacements. So here are the proposed program updates for this upcoming fiscal year program. To continue the $200,000 budget to serve an estimated 240 homes, add the new sprinkler irrigation valve replacement, and we're estimating that about 18% of homes will receive at least one leak repair measure and that 240 high efficiency toilets will be installed. So about one per home. And these estimates are based on the previous year of the previous program data from the past years. This chart shows the estimated lifetime water savings from the program to date. So from the pilot to the full program and then last year's including the leak repair. And we're seeing there will be an estimated 252 acre feet of savings. So this includes, like I said, past programs, but also this estimated savings from the new program for this upcoming year. So 252 acre feet of water savings and a cost of acre foot for $1,648. And these savings don't include any of the energy or hot water measures that are provided by PG&E, and they don't take into consideration any of the outreach and education that's provided through this program as well. So to conclude, staff is recommending that by motion, the board authorize the general manager to execute a professional services agreement with RHA for an amount not to exceed $200,000 for the Water Savings Assistance Partnership Program. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I'm happy to take them.
All right, thank you. Are there any additional comments by the part of staff?
Nope, we're happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. Members of the board, do you have questions?
I actually do have a question. I am actually wondering about eligibility. So are they allowed to apply annually? For example, I would think that every year, I know I replace sprinkler valves every year, right? Sprinkler heads. So do we actually go back? Can they reapply if they are still income qualified?
Yeah, that's a good point, a good question. That discussion actually came up when we were adding the new leak repair services as well, because I know for past programs, it was kind of just like a one and done
Right.
if they received like the services. But when we added the new leak repairs, we actually worked with RHA to contact previously served customers to see if they wanted to receive the additional leak repair assessments. This also came up when we expanded there used to be a maximum of 2 toilets per home, and then we expanded that to eliminate that maximum. So they actually came up with like a list to like reach out to people that had toilets that qualified to make sure that they retrofit. But I believe that once they receive the leak repair services, it goes back to that one and done.
I see. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Director Gunther.
Seems to be fairly successful with the pilot last year. Certainly something we could use presently with their drought conditions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I had a question similar to Director Huang's around the eligibility. I'm obviously happy to support this item. I think it's a good program. One other question that I had, you mentioned that customers can sign up if they call RHA, I'm assuming, or is that, do they call us first?
We direct them to call the actual contractors who do the work, because they are responsible for determining if they qualify, and then they work to schedule when they can visit.
Do we do any kind of outbound to our customers? I'm thinking because we have so many customers who are enrolled in our low-income rate assistance program, can we reach out to all of those customers and make them aware of this program and kind of prod them to enroll?
Yeah. It's a really great way to promote the program. We actually do reach out annually to the customers that are signed up for our Help on Tap program. So every year when we launch this program and you know it's set up, we get a list of active Help on Tap participants and draft a mailer promoting this this program and mail it out to them. And we do see an increase in participation following those mailers each year.
Yeah, I'm glad we do that. Those are all the questions I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good presentation. No questions. No
Thank you.
comments.
Points I have to make. I note that starting in 2021, we appeared to be looking at leak detections as well. That had not been part of the program prior to that.
For 2021, what was added was leak repair. So actually replacing any fixtures that were found to be leaking.
Okay, I would suggest that that is by far and away the higher savings, and it's more difficult to document. Do we have a program to look at leaks on service lines, the service from the meter to the building, to see if we're having, which is one of the notorious areas of leaks, and we even have insurance programs for that. And it's not with this program, at least with our meter replacement program, we go with AMI to look to see if we're getting major leaks in the service lines. And is that part of the program, and is there a way we could incorporate it?
Yeah, this program focuses on the actual like fixtures indoor of the home. It doesn't include the from the meter to the home. Not sure if we can, that hasn't been brought up to be part of this program, but I'm not sure if that's maybe something that could be like a different program. But so far, this has kind of just focused within the home, not necessarily the actual service line.
Let me encourage you to look at that, because it's a leak that would not normally be detected unless someone's looking for it. It's generally underground. Third, the replacement of fixtures, when we did in other studies in this, was not particularly cost effective. We did an issue a number of years ago in Union City, where we replaced higher volume toilets with lower volume toilets. And it was pointed out that to get a break even over the service life of the fixture, which is up to 10 years, would require 11 flushes per day, every day. So while it's a feel-good program, it's not necessarily one that, and we're picking up the cost, so the user would not have to be hit with the cost of the new fixture. In the broader scope of things, many of these programs wouldn't possibly not pass muster if we did a critical cost benefit analysis. But I'm glad to see we're looking at the leaks, which are important, and it's the maintenance, which I believe will be found to be, has been found in numerous studies as being the primary issue when it comes to water conservation savings. So,
I'm
thank
just
you.
going to say that I like this program and I think staff did a pretty good cost benefit analysis. But that's not why I jumped in. I believe Ms. Nevins raised her hand and she has a comment for us.
Yeah, and for the record, Ms. Stephanie Nevins is raising her hand as a member of staff here, so may want to
Please.
chime in.
Yes, Stephanie, thank you.
Good evening, Alameda County Water District Board and I just wanted to add a few things. Giselle did a great job of explaining this program. Beautiful presentation. I just wanted to bring a couple things up that just popped into my head after I heard some of these questions. I believe in terms of eligibility, so the PG&E program is run through their energy savings assistance program, and our customers can participate every 5 years. So that also follows for this program. So if they already have a toilet replaced, they're not going to be able to get a toilet replaced again because it will fulfill the requirements of being low flow. But there are other measures that they can take advantage of every 5 years, because it's triggered by that 5-year eligibility through the Energy Savings Assistance Program. The other thing I wanted to add is that the contractors do a meter check. So they do look to see if there's a leak at the meter, and they also, and they can isolate it to see if it's in the home or if it's in the service line. I think it's an excellent idea to do some coordination with the home service line insurance company that we partnered with before. I think that is an excellent added benefit to this program. We'll look into that. I think that really ties into this really well. So then the other thing is, I just wanted to mention that the overall cost per acre foot saved is over $1,600, which is pretty high. But our water efficiency master plan for strategy B, it fits within the parameters of strategy B. It fulfills a couple of different priorities that were identified by the board through that water efficiency master plan process, and it's under the threshold that we had for that strategy, which is somewhere around $1,800, little over $1,800 per acre foot saved. So I just wanted to add those few points to address some of the questions that have come up.
Thank you. I would note that our overall cost of water, we sell the water, we sell it for about $3,000 an acre foot. So hitting our revenue, but not a bad, but still a good positive thing that the water is being used for effective uses. Thank you. Thank you. Now, is there any member of the public who wishes to address the board on this item? I noticed we had at least one public member who's joined us. I see no hand. So then let us continue with the, thank you very much for your report. This requires an authorization. So do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the staff recommendation on item 5.3.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any board member comment on the motion? There being none, roll call, please.
Director Sethy,
Aye.
Akbari,
Aye.
Gunther,
Aye.
Huang,
Aye.
and Weed.
Aye. All right, next we move on to reports. We have the board committee reports. Is there anyone who wishes to make a comment? We have the beginning with operations and water quality. None. Let's move then to engineering and information technology. 6.1 legal intergovernmental community affairs meeting. Finance Committee meeting. And finally, the Water Resources and Conservation meeting of August 23rd. None. So we can go on now onto our operational reports. Investment report 6.2.1. Any comment? None. Annual FY employment reimbursement required by AB 1542. If none, we can move on. Annual revenue and expenditures. Annual total water revenue report. Annual total meters report. The annual total consumption report. The quarterly budget report. Water production report. And the distribution system monthly hardness map. There being none, and I see no hands from the public. So we have no staff presentations. We have a general manager's report on the drought update.
That's right. We have a few short general manager's report, but we do want to make sure we cover the drought update this evening. And so again, I'll turn it over to Ms. Heides.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. I just have a short update tonight. And next slide, please. The state remains in severe drought, as you're all aware, and we really have not had any major changes to our existing supplies and plans at this point. So there's no updates on the water supply side. Next slide, please. On the state front, Governor Newsom met with a consortium of water agency general managers on July 29th to discuss progress on meeting conservation goals. Mr. Stevenson participated in that and has shared some information on that. Early data submittals indicate that water agencies are trending in the right direction for July, and even August, we're seeing similar positive trend here in our area in terms of conservation. The state discussions to date on water year 2022 and 23 and how it's going to shape up have begun, and preliminary weather forecasts suggest an elevated probability of a dry fall, September to December this fall, which is no surprise. The California Water Supply Strategy was released actually on, I believe it was our board meeting in August, on August 11th, and that has a strong emphasis on climate change and estimates a 10% decrease in California's water supply by 2040 due to higher temperatures and decreased runoff. And it also contains a number of strategies to accelerate infrastructure projects, boost conservation, and update the state's water system. So we're not going to provide a detailed presentation on that, but the full strategy is available. It's a fairly interesting read, not too long. So I've left the link here for those that might be interested in more information on that. Next slide, please. So for a brief 2023 outlook, the upcoming water year is approaching the window for better agreement among the forecasting models available. So our upcoming forecast we expect will provide a little more confidence as we get closer to the fall here. Current modeling indicates increased probability for La Nina conditions remaining through the fall. And for planning purposes, what we're assuming right now is that our preliminary assumption is that next water year will be similar to the current water year. Thanks to our customers' reduced demands, the conserved water supplies have really helped us prepare for a subsequent dry year. Next year is also dry. We are going to need the customers to continue those demand reductions. That'll be crucial given the expected low water supplies if we do have another year like this year. And so staff are in the process of evaluating this in detail as the information is coming in, and we will be providing a detailed 2023 outlook in the October timeframe. Next slide, please. But the good news is on our demand tracking, and this is the graph we share each month, and the purple dashed line, I'll remind you, is the goal that we are seeking to be able to achieve our 15% conservation throughout the year. The light blue line is the current demands, and as of the end of August, I'm happy to report that we were at about 18% below where we were in 2020 for August. And so you can see we're just right around the target that we were shooting for on the purple line. So we're hoping that that continues. We have had this extreme heat wave. My understanding is our early indication is we're not seeing a humongous spike in changed water behavior. So we're glad that things are remaining on track. And next slide, please. We continue to have water use efficiency activity, interest in our programs and water waste reports coming in. Not as intense as July during August, but still a lot of customer interest compared to the prior to the drought. Next slide, please. And just a few outreach highlights are listed here. I won't go over them in detail. There is a lot of additional information in the legislative, intergovernmental and community affairs committee report that's in the board packet. But I will just highlight that there's been a number of past events that staff have participated in over the past month, including the Festival of India Mela, Niles Discovery Church presentation, and a Bay Area media event held in partnership with 6 Bay Area water agencies, the state's Save Our Water campaign, East Bay Regional Park District, and the UC Master Gardeners of Alameda County. And I know that was attended by some of you from our board and Mr. Stevenson. There's a little picture here included in the packet as well. And then an upcoming event that we've got is the Newark Days Parade and Information Fair, not this weekend, but next weekend, the 17th and 18th. And that concludes my report tonight. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the board? Thank you. I see no other public comment at this point. So we'll turn to the general manager for the next report.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention a couple of those outreach activities. Really, it's Newark Days that's coming up, and I really appreciate that everybody on the board has at this point signaled that they'll be planning to be there at the parade on the 2017th. And the parade's theme is Under the Sea. And so by popular demand, we're bringing back the bubble machine for the back of at least one of our parade entries. You saw in your email, but as a reminder, the parade lineup is at 9 a.m. The staging will be at Thornton Avenue and Civic Terrace Avenue. The parade step off is 9:45. So if you're there around 9:30, that's fine. Also, though, as a reminder, I won't be there because I will be far away from here next week and weekend, or part of next week and all of next weekend. But Renee Gonzalez has got you covered, and we'll be coordinating with you as needed leading up to that time. And then John Wunderlich will also be out there to help drive the cars, and hope you all have a great time out there. The following day is the information fair. ACWD will be out there too. That's noon to 3:30 at Newark Community Center Park, and feel free to stop by our table out there at the information fair. Also, 2 weeks from this evening on September 22, we'll have the third and final scheduled board workshop related to rates. And so staff is earnestly preparing for that. We hope to sort of bring all of those issues we've been talking about to a final point where we can then plan to prepare and move forward with a rates process. That's scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. And then again, as a final reminder and a final warning to Mr. Awoke, I'll be away from the office part of next week, next Wednesday through Sunday, the 14th through the 18th. And Mr. Awoke is planning to be acting as general manager. And if that doesn't happen that way, he'll notify the board and others too, to make sure that everybody knows who should get the midnight phone call. That completes our general manager's reports.
Thank you. There are no other questions or comments. Let us move then to director's comments, reports and meetings attended, and agenda item request.
That's from me.
Okay.
Only quick comment I'll make. I know in the board packet tonight, it said that our engineering and IT committee meeting was supposed to be at Vallecito's channel. Of course, we couldn't do that because of the heat wave. My only request would be when we can do a site visit to Vallecito's channel for that committee meeting, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, we know that's something that's been of interest for quite some time, and we've been working to try and make it work, and thought we had it this time, but Mother Nature stepped in. It's still on the docket. We're going to try and get it taken care of before the end of the calendar year.
All right, thank you. And Director Sethy. A couple of items. On PFAS, there was a Aqua meeting, subcommittee of the water quality group on PFAS on Tuesday. at that they had a representative from the state of California. It was noted that the state has now determined that the reporting level will be 3 parts per trillion rather than 2 parts per trillion. The action level remains at 20. They will require that if there is a positive hit of 3 or more, that there be a confirmation measurement taken, which means, and they said that if you take 2 samples at the same time, within 48 hours, you must have the confirmation within 48 hours, and that you can make the confirmation based on the second sample that was picked up at the same time of the sampling. Beyond that, not a lot. I've been asked to be part of an ad hoc committee led by Egbert Imley, who is chair of the AWWA Water Quality Committee, and about a half a dozen of us to discuss in more detail and more general, more far-reaching discussion what PFAS and what the implications are. Recently, the EPA has recommended that PFAS and PFX, and goes on, be considered a hazardous waste. The implications of that can be, from a financial standpoint, are numbing, because in order to deal with organic fluorine, you must heat to 600 degrees Celsius, which makes your energy carbon neutral plans a distant memory. And or you have to remove it to a hazardous waste dump. And the particular concern there will be the brine or effluent, which would have a higher concentration, and a particular concern in recycled water projects, liability of which could be extraordinary. I would encourage ACWD, if we do get involved, as we have recently, that we look for any, make sure that we do not have a liability for the waste stream of any recycled water project, because in the current laws, they're jointly and severably liable, and you would be held not only for your fair share, but if someone else were not able to cover the cost for their share as well. What has brought this home recently to people, I think, in what the extraordinary cost can be, is the Camp Lejeune issues, which have populated the internet, and where the federal government has come out with a bill authorizing up billions of dollars in relief to individuals who were at Camp Lejeune for 3 or more days prior to 1985, when the wells were taken offline, that had contamination from trichloroethylene. And law firms have jumped on this full bore. PFAS are potentially far more serious because we're looking at a level of concern of 0.0004 parts per trillion, far lower than that of trichloroethylene, TCE. That's one of these evolving issues, and it's one of those I call the black swans that are coming down to the water industry. And in my personal view, stay as far away from recycled water as you can. Thank you. Because it's been clear that there's reports from the American Society of Civil Engineers that PFAS are generated in water treatment, particularly wastewater treatment, and we need to get a handle on that. Thank you.
And I do see a hand up from our general counsel, Mr. Miyake.
Well, I just think that quick director's report wrapped up. So I was going to say that that's not on the agenda, so it should be something on the agenda, but it sounds like it's wrapped up. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, there'll be more on that coming down the pike on that as time goes on. Okay. If there's no other comments, then we will next. Our session is to go into a closed session pursuant to California Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection D, Subsection 2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, significant exposure to litigation, one potential case. That's item 8.1. So we are now,
Yeah, and I'll just note that we will convene into closed session, and if folks that are online would like to stay there, you're welcome to do that. If you'd like to hear any report out from closed session.
okay,
All right, there we go.
thank you. We are coming back into open session. The time is 7:35. During, no action was taken during our closed section. Where we discussed anticipated litigation. Is there any other information or item to come before the board? If not, we are therefore adjourned.
All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good evening.
I won't